At Prince George's Community College, we believe when our students are nourished, we empower them to flourish, academically, personally, and professionally. Nourish to Flourish is a dedicated initiative focused on access to healthy meals and battling food insecurity in our community. The program is a part of PGCC Cares, giving students essential wraparound services with daily access to fresh groceries and produce from the Owl Market, a community garden, plus other services to support student success.
Hi, I'm Chef Greg Hare, and we are in our specialty kitchen. Recently, to support the Nourish to Flourish initiative, the Culinary Arts Center invited our college president, Dr. Falecia D. and PGCC Foundation Chair, Jeff McFarland, to our community kitchens to prep for our event with our celebrity chef from NGM. Dr. Williams wasted no time and got some life skills training from Raphael.
That's technically the way you hold it. And then you see how you have the different shadings. Are you on the side?
Now, how do you get to the entire end of it?
One of the best things to do is probably just go ahead and flip it again, and then just go ahead and start your process all over again. And then go ahead and
chip. Get my
chip
point.
Just start using the that's good. Nice wrist action. This is the process.
Share in this journey to wellness as Prince George's Community College Foundation presents Nourish to Flourish, empowering communities through food access.
We like to share recipes that are easy, economical, and healthy for everyone. Touted as a superfood, sweet potatoes are sweet, starchy root vegetables that can grow all over the globe. They are a virtual smorgasbord of sizes and colors like orange, white, and purple. Plus, sweet potatoes are rich in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber. Also, they provide many health benefits and are easy to add to your diet. Let's take a look at two versions of mashed sweet potato recipes. Then we're gonna get our sweet potato, a nice peel. I'll peel this for you, Dr. Williams. Because most people like to do the grandma method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another way.
We want to keep it clean, so you know, unless you're really good and can like aim where all the trim's gonna go. We generally hold, and then we bring our blade to us.
So Chef Mike has 2 pounds of sweet potatoes, roughly, that he has here that he's going to dice. Actually, Chef, you're gonna step in. Mike already knows how to do that, right?
Uh-oh.
You said you practiced yesterday on sweet potatoes. So what we want to do here, there is no knife cuts here. We're not bringing out rulers and measuring a perfect brunoise dice, small dice, or anything like that. We're rough cutting these.
Okay.
Okay, so we just want to kind of split them in half, or let's actually talk about cutting round things with a sharp knife. Okay, if you're cutting this to be safe at home, if you actually were cutting this long ways, it has a tendency to move around, okay? I would take the path of least resistance, okay, and cut it, and just cut yourself chunks this way, and then just dice your rounds. Give yourself a somewhat even dice that you can cook, so that way it gets nice and soft, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna make a puree or a mash out of this, so that's okay, all right? And this way you can just kind of split. So if you wanna cut those up, and so these mashed sweet potatoes have 2 pounds of sweet potatoes. They have a 1/4 cup of almond milk or any milk of your choice. Almond milk is going to add like a great nuttiness to it. It's going to be a beautiful, velvety texture once we puree them. You can use coconut milk. That works really well too, by the way. Coconut and sweet potato goes extremely well together. A little bit of olive oil or unsalted butter. In this case, we're going to use butter. Exactly, yay. I like that, yay. It's holiday season, right? We're allowed to eat butter, okay? We have some cinnamon, we have salt and pepper to taste, and we're gonna add some honey if we want to adjust the sweetness, okay? So we have all of those ingredients in here kind of pre-measured. We've also cheated too. We have the sweet potatoes already cooking, but we just want to see you dice those. No, you've done great, you've done great. So in this pan right now, we already have some sweet potatoes that are starting to cook down. And they should be nice and tender. So what I'll do is I'll take some out. And so you can use a fork, you can use a knife. Okay, if it pierces through it nice and easy, that way we know that they're done. And they are. So now we're gonna transfer them to a Roboku. Now there's a couple different options here, and I'm gonna let you jump in here on the next part. I'm gonna have you do the puree so you can adjust the seasoning and the texture of it. So you can either use a potato masher, okay, or you could use a fork. You know, sometimes I like texture in my purees, or I like them super smooth. Okay, I can tell you one thing, that a food processor at home, it doesn't have to be a fancy Roboku like this, and you know, it could be you know, like the Cuisinart one, you know, whatever you have, just as long as it has that blade. Mashed or sweet potatoes go buttery smooth in one of these. Like you don't have to like pass it through a sieve or anything like that. Like super smooth as long as you cook them all the way through. So I love using that for this. Again, you will get a very, like if you cook them all the way through, you'll get the similar texture by mashing them with a potato masher as well. But you, at that point, you want to incorporate the butter and the almond milk and everything kind of at the same time. So what we'll do first, I'll do the hot part. So we'll transfer these over here. And these are cooked already in a little bit of honey, it looks like, and some water. So they already have some sweetness to it, so we'll adjust the sweetness lightly on this. The pulse will kind of get it started. There we go. Now we can just let it run, and we can hit the green one and just let it go. It's done. So, and this didn't. And I get it, like, you know, mashing it, you know, you get muscles, right? But you can see it comes out, you know, buttery smooth. Let's see if we need to adjust for salt or anything else anyway. Oh, they're great? Okay, all right. Let's see how smooth they are.
Tastes a lot of butter.
Oh, you do taste a lot of butter, yeah.
It's good.
But they're nice and smooth, right? But we didn't even add the almond milk, did we? So we can add a little bit of almond milk too.
Brussels sprouts have, over the years, become the it vegetable. These mini cabbage or cruciferous vegetables have many health benefits. Powerful antioxidants like camphorol that may help protect against cancer and heart disease, fiber for a healthy gut biome. They provide a significant amount of vitamin K that is crucial for bone health. And finally, Brussels sprouts have vitamin C for immune function and are also low in calories and fat, making them a healthy and versatile addition to a balanced diet.
The next one we're going to do is we'll work on Brussels sprouts. So Chef Iglesias, you want to start cutting those. We like Brussels sprouts? All right. So these are already cleaned and trimmed. The team at the school has already done all the heavy lifting and all the work on that. So, you know, when you get Brussels sprouts, you get them on the stalk. If you ever see them, sometimes you can find them in the store that way. You know, pluck them off. You get them in a bag. Sometimes you get them already split and clean. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these down to the point where we can roast them in a sauté pan. We're going to caramelize them first. Okay. But we're also going to be making a balsamic glaze for them, which we already have reduced now. So in the reduction, we have a small saucepan. We've already reduced this down. It has balsamic vinegar. We've brought down, just boiled it down to the point where it became a syrup. So that texture of that should almost look like aged balsamic, if you've ever seen that before. And the best way to show you what the finished product would look like is a little called nappe. It'll coat the back of the spoon, okay? To the point where I could actually run my finger through it and it would leave a line. Okay, so that's, you can see it's syrupy, sticky and tacky because that's a glaze. Okay, so this is very hot right now. That's fine, that's okay, it'll probably smoke. But we do want to roast the Brussels sprouts. So we'll get a nice sheen of oil on the bottom of the pan. And to the point where it should like freely move in the pan when you're shaking it. And it'll get to the point where it'll start to smoke, the smoke point of the oil, and then we can add them in to the pan. So you might want to, when you're roasting Brussels sprouts, you guys kind of see that? I'll show you. So when you're roasting Brussels sprouts, you want to start in high heat, and then you want to kind of lower it down to like more of a medium. And then you want to keep them moving in the pan. You know, this little tiny cabbage has, you know, a fair amount of sugar surprisingly in it, so it will start to caramelize pretty quickly. We'll get it moving. So at this point now, I would coat these with a little bit more oil before they go into the oven. And this is kind of an oven-safe pan. And, you know, even though it has this, you know, rubberized handle, it's a silicone. So this could essentially go right into that oven. At this point, I'm going to season with some salt and pepper. I've got pepper first here. And then we'll add some of our salt. A little bit more oil. Brussels sprouts really soak up the oil. And then we'll go into the oven, okay? And then wow, we had Brussels sprouts already roasted in the oven. Okay.
Blackened chicken is an easy, flavorful, lean protein with low carbohydrate content. This chicken is rich in vitamin B6, potassium, and iron. In this recipe, we roasted the chicken and prepped them with our own blend of blackening spices. Good handfuls get inside the cavity, all around, in the joints, in the wing pits, up, down, left, and right. So the truss, I'll just go ahead and do this. I'm gonna come up underneath the wings. If there is a neck, that's fine. You can go over the neck like that.
All right.
Under the breast. Oops. Halfway through the wing like that, so we bring the wings in nice and tight. And if you want, you can give it a crossover. You don't have to. If you're serving the whole chicken for like the family, and you want to show it off, having all the lines is going to make it look kind of weird. Going to come around the legs.
Okay.
And then we're just going to give it a tie. We gave the spices, but what helps is this sugar helps caramelize and get you that blackening. And since we don't have a searing pan, you can sear it on both sides. You can cut the back out and open it up, what we call spatchcock.
Spatchcock.
Spatchcock, exactly. You can do that and then put it in the oven. You're doing the whole bird that way. We're doing what's called a searing method.
Okay.
So the oven is up to 450.
Okay.
We're going to get it nice and hot really quick. Then we're going to turn the oven down to 350 after about a half hour. For that one bird, it's probably take about 45 to 50 minutes. So half the time is going to be at 450, the other half will be at 350.
Okay.
If you're doing this for a turkey, no more than a half an hour at 450. So a turkey usually takes several hours to cook, so a half hour at 450 is not going to affect it too much, but it will help get that nice, dark, deep caramelization.
Okay.
Beep, my timer's gone off. Okay, so now, right, so there's a bird right there. We're gonna let that rest here while we're working on some of the other recipes. You did a great job, sir. That was beautiful. Amazing job.
Thank you for joining us at the Culinary Arts Center. I'm Chef Gregory Hare here at the Prince George's Community College. To learn more about classes and events here, visit PGCC.edu/Culinary Arts Center.
Thank you for watching Nourish to Flourish. To find out more about the PGCC Foundation, visit our website at PGCC.edu/foundation.